You cut the portions, you ignore the physical hunger, but after weeks of discipline, the scale refuses to budge. The math we are all taught to rely on is completely straightforward: calories in versus calories out. If you consume less energy than your body burns, you will lose weight. But human biology does not operate like a simple calculator. When you severely restrict your energy intake, your body treats the deficit as a threat. Its immediate survival response is to drastically slow down your metabolism to match the low energy coming in. With fewer calories arriving, your body still has to find fuel to keep your organs running. Instead of tapping into your fat reserves, it starts breaking down your muscle tissue, simply because proteins are easier to convert into quick glucose than fat reserves that have become chemically inaccessible. This plateau occurs because the body has shifted into a state where fat reserves are sealed off. Access to that stored energy is governed by a specific hormonal signal that, when active, creates a one-way street for fuel, continually adding to storage while preventing any withdrawal. Every time you eat a meal, your blood sugar rises, and your body deploys its primary energy storage director, insulin. The pancreas secretes insulin to facilitate the transport of sugar from the bloodstream into the cells. This hormone docks with the cell surface, signaling the membrane to allow glucose molecules to pass through for energy production. But insulin is doing two jobs simultaneously. While it facilitates glucose entry, its high presence in the bloodstream sends a loud systemic signal to the rest of your body: we have plenty of circulating energy. Do not touch the reserves. The biological instruction is an explicit command. The body gathers up all the excess circulating sugar, converts it into triglycerides, and packs it away into fat cells for later. As long as insulin remains active in your blood, an enzyme responsible for breaking down fat is completely inhibited. Your body is biologically prohibited from accessing its stored fat. The system breaks down when it is constantly flooded with sugar. Over time, your muscle and liver cells become overwhelmed and grow completely deaf to insulin signals. This state of systemic overload is known as insulin resistance. This chart contrasts a healthy insulin response against a resistant one. To compensate for those deaf cells, the pancreas pumps out massive, continuous amounts of insulin, forcing the line to stay permanently high across the entire 24-hour cycle to push the glucose through. Because that insulin line never drops, the enzyme needed to burn fat stays paralyzed. Your fat cells are effectively under lock and key. Since the primary cells are resisting the incoming sugar, the body has to clear the excess energy from the blood. It relentlessly converts the sugar into even more fat, swelling those locked reserves. Here is where the biology becomes truly cruel. Despite carrying around massive amounts of stored energy, the deaf primary cells are actively starving. The fuel they desperately need is bypassing them. Your brain detects this cellular starvation and hits the panic button. It automatically triggers intense cravings for quick energy, like sugar, and induces profound physical fatigue to conserve whatever energy is left. You are experiencing a famine in the middle of abundance. Having starving cells trapped inside a fat-hoarding system makes trying to force a standard calorie deficit feel physically impossible to endure. This explains why the conventional advice of simply eating less fails for so many. Restricting your calories while your insulin remains chronically high merely starves a body that is already locked out of its own pantry. Sustainable weight loss requires driving down baseline insulin levels to permit access to stored energy. Reducing this hormonal baseline removes the primary obstacle to utilizing body fat. The first step is addressing the inputs that spike insulin the hardest. Severely reducing refined carbohydrates and increasing dietary fiber prevents rapid glucose spikes, giving your overwhelmed cells a chance to clear the backlog. Looking at this animated diagram, you can see the effect of time on the process. The left side shows the constant insulin spikes of frequent eating. The right side shows strategically spaced meals. Wide gaps without food give the pancreas prolonged resting periods. During those gaps, insulin levels drop to baseline. The body automatically switches from a storage machine into a fat-burning state, releasing energy back into the system for fuel. Weight loss plateaus represent a breakdown in hormonal communication. Restoring these internal signals allows the system to recover its natural ability to balance energy storage and use.